Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Building Investors YouTube channel. Sorry about the glare there. I am working on the inside of the tiny house. It's currently 96 degrees outside, which isn't maybe that insanely hot, but for here in the northern northwest, it's pretty spicy, pretty toasty. So we've got you just can't see all that sun glare. We've got an air conditioning unit in the door, not the most efficient because it's not sealed off, but it is something. Once we get a window cut out, I'll stick it in there, but for now, that's that, and there's a fan blowing in some air to keep it from feeling like an attic in here because it feels a lot like an attic. But let me turn you around and show you what we've got going on and what we're gonna do in the video. We have started the interior framing. I know, sorry, we started without you, but I wanted to do this part by myself because it took some brain power to get all the calculations and measurements correct. And so what we have done, this wall was already here, it's been here. This wall is built to support the roof, and so that one was already done. But this one kind of frames out where the laundry machine is going to go. We're going to have a stackable washer and dryer right here. And then in this little room, it's going to be a mechanical room, which we may have access from the outside. That's why the header's there. We might have a door there, or might just have the siding removable so we can get in and out when we need to. Or we might have a secret door in the paneling or the wall cover right here, so we might be able to remove it. We don't need to get in there often because all we're going to have in there is the hot water heater and the breaker panel. Maybe one day we'll have some sort of solar charging system or battery bank in there, but most likely not. Most likely just a hot water heater and the electrical panel. So we got that wall framed, and then we came around the side, referencing the floor plan over yonder. So this wall is framed, that wall is set, that wall is framed. So we're working on all of this, but we can't finish it until we get the tub installed because we're doing a one-piece tub and shower combo. So I need to be able to bring it through the door, which it should fit through that door because that's a 36-inch door. Bring it in through here and then up into here. And so I don't want to finish framing this wall completely, at least these studs here, because we need to get the tub in place. This wall, I can frame some of it, but I'm going to leave some studs out because when we put the tub and shower combo in, we won't want a stud in the center where the shower nozzle and all that is, the valve. And so we're going to put one there and we're going to put one there. And then we'll frame this in according to where we want the shower valve installed. And then we can do a stud here, stud here, stud here. But then we get to here, we have the sink, the vanity. So we'll have drains going through there, and then we'll have probably a vent stack of some sort, and then the drain for the washer and dryer will go there as well and go down to the floor. So we don't want to crowd that with studs until we know exactly where all that's going. And then we're gonna have a medicine cabinet in the wall here. So anyways, all that is to say, we don't know exactly where we want those yet, so we'll wait on those. But there are a few we can install. And before I put the tub and shower combo in, I need to install a window right here. Like you've heard in maybe previous videos or seen, there's no windows in this place at all. There's going to be a bunch of windows, 4 on that wall, 2 up there, 1 over there, 1 here, 1 in the bathroom, 3 in the bedroom, 4 upstairs. There's going to be a lot of windows. And we didn't install them yet because we don't know exactly where we want them. So we're taking the harder route, and we'll frame them in after. Like this doorway was framed in after everything. It's not too bad. All you have to do is cut the 2x4s out, put it in the header, so on and so forth. So we're gonna have a 3-foot wide by 1 foot, a 1030 or 3010 they call it, construction world. So we need to put in a header similar to this one. Problem is our tub flange, which is where the tub screws to the wall. This mark represents this mark here. 73¼ inches is where that flange screws to the wall. So we can't really put the window any further below that because then our wall won't be secured on the tub. So what I've done is I've measured up to my minimal height there, and then we're gonna cut the stud right here at this line, and then we'll put a 2x4 laying flat right here on top of these two, and it'll span from that one to that one, and then our window will fit in there and we'll frame it in according to the center of the shower so it'll look nice and even. But we also gotta, not only do I gotta cut it here, but we gotta cut it up there right below that joist, and then we'll put in a header. But we're gonna have to modify this header a little bit because we need another almost 3/4 of an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch clearance to get that window in. Maybe a little bit less because the rough openings leave some wiggle room. So we'll figure that out. But we're gonna take a header like this one and probably trim it down to, instead of being 5.5 inches, it'll be like 5 inches or so, which is plenty structurally strong enough for these two to support that, in my opinion. Anyways, so we've got to cut those out. And then once we get that all installed and framed out, then we can insulate the wall, run any electrical we need to, which I hope not to run any back there. We'll probably just run it through up here down into this wall. to supply that room. That way we don't have to worry about it. We'll just put the shower in, and then we start to work on the drain and so on, toilet, vanity, all that stuff. But the most important thing is getting that shower in, and then we can finish framing the walls. So anyways, that was a lengthy video there just to say, let's cut that out, put in a new header, and we'll bring you back once it's done. Okay, there's the window in all its glory. We got the header in. All we did was trim off a 1/2 inch. You can see it's a little bit shallower than that one, shorter. And then we centered the window between so there's a 60-inch opening here for the tub, or 5 feet. So we centered 2.5 feet, put a center mark, and then measured over 18 inches for a rough opening of 36. So it's a 1x3 window. So they recommend the rough opening to be 1 foot by 3 feet. We made it 11.75 because there's a 1/2 inch of wiggle room in the windows, because the windows are 11.5 inch from jamb to jamb. So we're gonna have 1/4, which is fine because that sill is level. So even if we had to set it there or up there, it doesn't matter. So anyways, that's good because this will leave enough room for the tub to screw to. So that's awesome. So we screwed everything up first, just with the screw to hold it in place. Then we came back with the nailer and nailed it off, because nails are much more durable when it comes to flexing and back and forth. If you just did your whole house with screws, over time your house could snap and fall over, because screws are really rigid, and where screws will bend back and forth for a long time before they break. So anyways, next up I'm going to insulate the cavities back here from here to here, because we're going to put the tub in front of it, of course, and so we can't get to it once we do that. So insulation's back in there, so I'll dig back in there. Kind of part of my goal is to use things I have, because the budget for the tiny house is tight right now. We're getting some more money here soon for the project, but we're waiting on that. So while we're waiting on that, we'll use what we have. So we did buy some studs today to finish off the framing, but they're only like $384 a piece. So it wasn't a huge investment to buy the studs, but since we have the insulation from the Ford project, we'll use the rest of that back here, and they'll be ready for the tub. So let's do it. So I meant to mention one more thing while I was here. You'll notice that the framing is a little bit light for a traditional house. For a tiny house, it's probably overkill, but for a normal traditional house, you would have a cripple underneath of this sill plate as well, holding it up. But since that header is taking all the weight of everything above it, all this 2x4 has to do is support the window, which it'll do just fine without those cripples, which will save us a couple pounds in weight, trying to keep the weight down on the building. So everything I do is keeping that in mind. All the 2x4s in the end won't change anything. And you'll notice there's not 2 2x4s here. We might add one there. That one might need beefed up. But there also is a wall here. But yeah, it does need probably another one there. But on a traditional house, that would have another cripple. So anyways, if you're in the comments going, there's a buzz be another cripple. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. It's my house. So, but the people who watch us aren't probably going to be the ones commenting. They'll be the people who skim through it and be like, yeah, it's not right. Keyboard warriors. Anyways, forgot to mention that. There you go. Let's get the insulation. Okay, I won't bore you with the entire installation of the insulation, but here is the rock wool insulation that I'm using. I'll use this for the floor. If you haven't seen that video of me doing the floor, then watch it and you'll understand more about this insulation. But I'll be using this because I like it, and I like it. So anyways, just grab it, wearing the spot for it, and tuck it in. All the way down. Now when I get to these cavities, they're a little bit smaller. These ones are the same. This one's the same. This one's a little bit shorter because the cripple there. We just have it's like a serrated knife. You just cut it like a piece of turkey. Super easy. Squeeze it in there. So this will take just a few minutes. I'll bring you back when we go done. That's a wrap for today. I will come back tomorrow and continue the video, but got the insulation all in there. Like I said, it's super easy to cut. Just have this little knife here, insulation knife. It's like a cheap serrated steak knife, basically. And you just cut it to the size. So that's nice, because now we can get the tub put in there, which is really fun to think about. And then we can start framing. So we'll add some more framing when we start up a video tomorrow. Just a couple in here, probably one in that corner over there. We got to think about a wiring as well. So we have outlets. We're gonna put one on the inside of the wall here for the bathroom, just so you can use it to clean. And then we'll have one on the other side of the wall for this bedroom. And then we'll have probably one there and one there, if you follow that stud down, because the bed will be there. And then we'll have probably one down here. So, but anyways, I say that to say we'll run the wire around this corner here. So we'll have to plan that in. And then we also need, for this stud will sit there, which will be good for screwing on. Like I say, you did drywall. The drywall will go to here and screw into there. But when you brought the drywall across here, there's nothing to screw it into. And so we'll have to put a backer board there. So we'll do all of that kind of in one thing, probably with the wire and with the insulation backer board. But anyways, probably a lot of extra information you don't need, but that looks so much better. And it's ready to go. So ready to buy the window, ready to buy the tub, get this bathroom framed in. I'm even tempted to, once I get the roof in, which is the flooring for the loft, it'll seal this room off. And even if I don't have whatever the word is, this all finished, we can use the bathroom. Once we get the tub in, the wall pieces on, electrical safely in there, and flooring in, we can close the door. And once we get the septic system installed for the property, we can hook it all up. Sorry for the sniffles. I got insulation dust in my nose, I guess. And then our washer and dryer can be installed. And then once we get our electrical hookup, which we might run a temporary extension cord over here to run that just off of the RV hookup. That way we want to do laundry, we can. But then eventually all this will be finished. And like I was saying, the bathroom, we could finish this room off and lock it in and tie it in to where it stays cleanish, and then move on to the next room. So that's kind of the goal, is to get the bathroom finished, because it'd be nice for my kids and my wife to get a shower in a normal shower, or my dog. I can't give my dog a bath outside because then he'll get muddy, and I can't give him a bath inside because there's not enough hot water. So here would be super fantastic. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get cleaned up. We're headed to church for midweek service, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Well, it's tomorrow and we've got more done and we've got more to do. Here's what we've done. We've installed, let's see, 2 studs there, 3 studs there, another one there, leaving those spaces that we talked about for the shower and the plumbing over here. Eventually we'll frame that in once we get the medicine cabinet. So that's that. I went ahead and cleaned out this space right here, as you can see. Move some stuff over, drop my screws, and then move some of it to the container. But most of the reason was to just get this cleared out. Now we can come back and secure these joists a little bit more. Obviously, if you're building an actual house with an actual loft, you'd want some sort of beam ridge, let's see what they call it, header board, I don't know, something for those to sit on. So you'd screw it there or put some sort of bracket. But I haven't done it for a couple reasons. You can see the headers over there are holding those. This wall here splits the distance in half. These walls will be secured. These ones are secured with nails and screws. The nails are mostly strong enough, but I put a screw in there to hold tight because over time they pull out like this with the heat and expansion stuff. They won't do that once I get everything done, but then we're gonna have wall covering, probably a shiplap up to here, which will help support. Obviously that's not like a structural thing, but overall we'll have plenty of support. So we'll have a wall here for the closet, which we're gonna build pretty soon or right now once we get more lumber actually, and then a wall across here. There's gonna be a lot of support, but anyways, that's what we're gonna do now, is put the screws in these boards here and then start framing for this. Well, guys, it is nighttime. I don't know, 9 o'clock, 9:30. You can see it's dark outside. I'm sitting in a camp chair because I just finished those time lapses of building the closet. As you can see, I've got 2 closet doors there. They're both 4 feet wide by 82.5 tall, which is the rough opening for a door. Matches the header on this wall here, so that's kind of nice. I'll stand up and stop being lazy and walk you around here, but got some of these boards to keep those out. On a normal house, you'd have, like, this wall is supporting something, and so you'd have a jack stud and then a header. But since I'm trying to keep things lighter, this is completely fine for this house. Fine for me, I should say. So got it all framed up, got the header up there. We might put another board in there just to keep that spacing exact. Because if we have a door mounted on here, there's a little bit of weight there. So we'll put a little filler board in there like this up there to keep that tied together. So that's in the future. But that'll be a lot of closet space for a tiny house. I mean, that's 8 feet plus that. So, I mean, it's almost 11 feet across. So since we have little kids, we'll have multiple hanging rods. And so we can hang their clothes because they're small. And then maybe one side of the closet will have like full length dresses for my wife and then my dress clothes and stuff like that. So there's plenty of space. We'll probably put in some shelves across the top. Maybe even a standing toy shelf in the middle. Who knows? options are endless, but that's the plan. Insulated behind the studs that are going in, that way I don't have to start to squeeze it behind. It's just easier to do before there. So I'm almost out of it, but behind the tub. And so we're just waiting on the money to be able to buy the tub. So if you want to donate to the cause, I have a little Patreon thing down below you can donate to. Zero pressure too, but more money the merrier, right? Anyways, you can see I have double studs here. I'm doing that so I can space out the door. This is the hinge side of the door, so I'll give them more support. This side is just to keep the exact same spacing. You could put filler boards in there, but it's just easier to do full boards. And then I'm trying to keep this door as big as possible. Excuse me. It's made for a 32-inch door, but there's not enough space on this side for trim. So let's say the door is here, the door frame. That's going to be cut down. That's the sacrifice I'm making to make this closet full size. Because if you go shorter than 24 inches on a closet, your hangers start getting crowded. So I could probably bring it in a little bit, and I still can. I haven't locked in this, but 24 inches was kind of my goal. So we may downsize this door a little bit. That way we can put trim on this side or make this a barn door, which I don't really love barn doors when it comes to bathrooms or bedrooms. Like this is the master bedroom. I like doors to lock and seal, so that'll probably just be a door. So these two will match. But anyways, got all the interior framing done that we can. Like I said, once we get the tub installed, we can install these 2x4s and we'll be on the road to success. So anyways, that's the end of the interior framing for now. It's been fun doing the interior framing, and it's quite enjoyable. Although during the daytime, it's kind of like a sauna in here because it's like an attic space. There's no windows yet. Those are on the works too, in the works. But I put a fan and an air conditioner in the room or in the window door. Man, I can't talk tonight. In the door, and let it circulate through here, and that's really nice. Doesn't keep it cold, but I could close the door. Once I get a window, maybe put in there, I can vent. We have this AC unit there, and it has a tube sticking out the back that you can vent out the exhaust. So anyways, it's exciting. It's looking nice. It's nice to have the spaces defined with the walls. Like I said, we're probably going to insulate these walls just because it's the bathroom and the bedroom. I'm contemplating insulating the floor joist there. That way, if there's kids running around the loft in the middle of the night and say we're sleeping down here, they're sleeping up there, it'd be nice to have the sound deadened. We're going to have carpet padding and carpet up there, but that's not going to be enough. So once I get the lighting and wiring all finished up here, then I'll put in, probably just do the same rock wool insulation because it's really good at deadening the noise. They have special stuff for that, but I'm probably just going to buy all the same stuff that way. It's just easier that way. I don't have any waste, less waste. So anyways, figured I'd just sit here and chat at the end. If you got somewhere to be, by all means, go do it. But I'll talk a little bit more and just explain where we're at. So obviously we got a bunch of stuff here. Got to go in the shipping container at some point. I need to build shelves in the shipping container so I can stack stuff nice and neatly, because right now it's just precariously stacked like Jenga. If you pull one thing out, the whole thing's going to collapse. So eventually I'll get to that, but I would really like it if I could finish out this room, completely finish it. Put the windows in, do the trim, do the whatever I'm putting on the walls, whether it's shiplap or wainscoting or drywall, whatever it ends up being. Get this room completely finished and sealed off, put the door in, and then I can tape off the door. And then I can put the carpet in and everything and bring in our bed or the baby's cribs or whatever is coming in this room and bring it in. That'd be awesome. Or have more closet space, because right now we're living in that camper. So if we could bring in the closet stuff and hang it up, because right now it's in those cardboard boxes over there. Bring it in here, organize it, hang it, and then it's not the most convenient because they gotta come from the camper to here, but it's more convenient to have them in a box, that's for sure. So that'd be pretty cool. And it's nice to sit here and kind of think about locations of outlets and switches. Obviously we'll put a light switch, right? Where am I pointing at? I don't even know. On the wall there. And I haven't decided. I don't think we'll have a ceiling fan because the space in here is only 7 feet to the ceiling, which is high for a tiny house, but not high enough for a ceiling fan, I don't think. I may still consider it. Like the only way you would hit your, like I would, if I was changing my shirt or something and I reached up, I could stick my fingers in the fan. But if I put it in the middle of the room, the bed's gonna be there, so it might be nice to have. But I'm thinking about 4 can lights around and then a ceiling fan in the middle on separate switches, which would be nice. The ceiling fan will have lights too, so maybe have 3 switches, one for the light on the fan, one for the fan, and one for the other LED recessed can lighting I have, and put those on a dimmer possibly. That way you can dim it down or something. You can get all kinds of fancy. The bathroom's gonna have a vent fan that'll have a light on it, but then the vanity will have a light, and I might put a light above the shower because it's nice to have light in there. We'll have the window, but when it's dark out. So all those things are easy, and since it is such a small square space, Squarespace. I'm not sponsored by them. A square foot space, you can kind of upgrade some things and not worry about spending too much money. But so those are the plans. Yeah, that's about it. Eventually, hopefully, maybe even in the next video or next video or two, I'm going to start putting the subfloor on for those joists above. Do the same process as we did down here, where you glue the joist and then screw it down or nail it down with ring shank nails. And that'll really structurally tie everything together. And I can even take and use that as storage space. If I'm working down here, I can move all this stuff up there, or vice versa, finish up there. Yeah, that'll be really nice and neat. So anyways, life is busy, as you can tell, because I'm working at 9 o'clock at night, but life is good. And you really can do anything you want to, especially here in the United States. I don't know where you're watching from, but freedom is nice. And I'm happy for my freedom and thank the Lord for all the people who gave their lives and gave their life and their lives to serving, to have freedom for our country and all those things. But I appreciate it. So anyways, if you're still watching at this point, you're a true listener, that's for sure. Anyways, hope you enjoy your day, and drink something fun today or eat something fun today. Go hang out with some friends. Whatever you enjoy doing, make some time for it. Life is short, so have fun with it. Anyways, enough shrinking going on there. Talk to you later. Have a good night. God bless.